Saved here. So guys, before starting my presenting my screen, how do you know what is ITOM and what is the use of ITOM? Anyone? Any volunteer?
So
Okay.
it's a ITOM is IT operations management, right? As the name suggests, operations management. So it's to do with how to deal with the issues that you face in your day-to-day operations of your IT lifecycle or IT infrastructure lifecycle. Yeah, so that's my understanding. Ajay. Yeah, because infrastructure is all to do with your maintenance of your CMDB. So that's where
Mhm.
CMDB also comes into the picture when it comes to ITOM.
Definitely. Sounds good. And anyone else wants to add anything?
Yeah, Jay, Rahul this side. I just want to add, because I've learned few things regarding about ITOM. See,
Mhm.
ITOM, if you're talking about, it's information technology operation management. So
Mhm.
when it comes to, and it's been divided it into two parts, CMDB and discovery. So talking about that, what is ITOM? So ITOM is nothing. It's all about the infrastructure, having information regarding about the hardware and softwares, between all the computers information and everything. So maybe, if there is a company, so in company there are so many laptops, and desktop will be there, so all the information regarding about the configuration of hardware and configuration of software, everything, so that comes to into ITOM, I guess.
Yep, right. Okay.
That,
So
yeah,
thank you, Raul. I think that's all.
yeah, yeah, Jay.
So let me share my screen quickly, guys. Let me know once you're able to see my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thank you, guys. So, as you mentioned already, what is ITOM? So, ITOM already, we are referring based on the name, it's IT operation management. So, there are a couple of ways to be, to operate our operation managements in any organization, right? So, when we are talking about operation managements, so operations is something which you know which is used by an organization, right? So let me give an example here. My organization or any organization using a particular app, if that particular app is down, so they are due to that particular app is down, might be that that particular app is for logging purpose. So any person is going to be in office, he needs to be logged in that particular app to mark attendance, right? If it is not working, they are not able to track the attendance of the particular resources, right? So if that is not tracked, might be that financial things will impacted due to that. To to track each and everything, the applications will be working fine, and what is the impact on the CI, what is the things there. To track each those particular things, ITOMs comes in the picture basically, right? So ITOM have different modules. One is event management, one is CMDB, but CMDB is not the ITOM module. Let me clear you. CMDB out of the box comes with ITSM module. So CMDB is just database where we can store our data related to the CIs. Now there are multiple ways to store it. I will we will definitely learn on those particular topics or those particular things to store the data in the CMDB, right? So CMDB comes with ITSM out of the box. When you are purchasing ITOM, there are couple of type of subscriptions there. Based on that, things will be implementing. Yeah, anyone raise the hand? Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you. It's not a part of ITOM licensing as such, the
Mhm.
CMDB, but it's a key role that plays as a part of ITOM, isn't it? That
No,
was, yeah.
definitely. But let's take an example. If you don't have ITOM,
Mhm.
but you are not a big organization, you are still using ITSM, but you have a less, component. So you can store in the CMDB, right? It's not required. ITOMs comes in the picture.
Correct, correct.
CMDB is just a database where you can manage or store the CI related informations. It can be manually, it can be using service graph connectors, or it can be something else, right? So when we are talking about it, it's a, giving a key role to the ITOMs, but it's not coming with the ITOM licensings basically.
Yeah, yeah, got you.
Yeah, sure.
Can we say if this statement is correct or not?
Mhm.
Without CMDB, without ITOM, CMDB is implementable, but without CMDB, is ITOM implementable?
No,
Oh,
that is the correct statement. Basically, without CMDB, ITOM cannot be implemented because CMDB is the main, or we can say, heart for the ITOM. So it's giving that, in all informations to all other modules as well. So without CMDB, we cannot implement complete ITOM for any organization. That must be required.
all right, Ajay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Let me move out to next. So, I just put it some of the agendas. We will go with that, but we will go with the practical things as well. What is ITOM, how ITOM capabilities works, what is CMDB, what is the process flow of the CMDB, how CMDB health dashboard will work, what is the architecture for the CMDB, discovery overview, discovery architecture and processes. So that is just for presentations, but apart from that, we will go, or I will showcase you each and everything on the practical side as well, where we are going to be discuss each and every issues which we are facing our current life, or while we are implementing on any project. So I hope everyone, Sai, can you go on mute, please? We are getting some background noise. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so everyone is aware about that particular, picture, ServiceNow Enterprise Cloud Platform, right? So when we are talking about cloud platform, there are a couple of other modules provided by ServiceNow. ITOM is one of it, right? So if you see in my screenshot, so discovery is one of the part, event management is one of the part, service mapping, orchestration, and cloud management. We will discuss in the little bit deep on those particular modules, how that are connected to each other, and what is the use case, or what is the things will be there, right? But apart from that, ITOM will help, or the CMDB will help for other modules as well, like ITSM, CSM, or software asset management. Because if your CMDB is not updated properly using those particular modules like discovery or some other, so that cannot be utilized properly in the other modules as well, right? So you cannot track like what incident raised on which CI, and what time it will raise, what is the impact of it on that particular CI. You cannot track the changes as well. So CMDB is the core. Basically, CMDB is the heart for complete ServiceNow instance. If your CMDB is correct and up to date, that can be utilized by different other modules as well. So let me go to the next slide now. What is ITOM, right? So ITOM includes services, processes, and best practices for IT operation ability, efficiency, and performance. Through ITOM, organization reduce infrastructure spending, improve existing resource utilization, and reduce risk due to human error. So as I mentioned, ITOM one is the discovery. Discovery, gives you the visibility how my device connected to the internet, and in which locations, what type of devices we have, what is the configuration of it, what is the software install and process running on those devices. So discovery collect those informations and put, create CIs in the CMDB and update those records in the CMDB. So we have the complete visibility of our infrastructure. The same way event management is just help out to understand, like if any issue coming on any CI, so we have proactively information on it to check that issues. Basically, what is the issue, and on which CI that issue, how we can fix it. So monitoring tools comes in the picture, with sending out some event or informations to ServiceNow, and based on that we can trigger the particular flow to remediate those things. The next thing is service mapping. Service mapping is something which help to give you the complete view of your application from top to down, where we can track each and everything, like what is the top entry point and how that is connected to the lower CIs. Example, it will be connected to load balancer or web server or application server or database. So how it is going to be connected. So if any impact on any CI for that particular application, you have informations easily, and which using those you are able to get that informations, right? But how it can be help out? So I've also mentioned couple of things here: improve IT service consistency and reliability, automate process through AI and machine learning. So where AI and machine learning comes in the picture, that is comes in that event management and the service mapping part, right? While you are using event management or service mappings, where machine learning comes in the picture and automatically create the connections from one server to the next level of servers, right? AI comes in the picture for the event management, where you can easily understand based on the metric data what type of alert can be occurred in next couple of minutes if we are not able to fix that particular things. So we will discuss on examples as well. Proactively identifies and resolve problems, right size items resources in the lockstep with real-time usage demand. So you have visibility on your CIs, like what is the uses of it, right? How we can track it, what informations we have available, right? We can predict issues using those things, right? Minimize user impact. So if any impact is there, and if we have complete ITOM solutions enabled, we can minimize that particular impact. How we can minimize? Because we have the information from event, we have the CI available, service mapping giving the picture for that particular application. So events are already there or alerts are already there, so we know that something is happening on that CI. If we are not going to be fixed in next couple of minutes, that will be down and my application will be impacted, right? So we can minimize that impact using those. Automate workflows across team. We can automate the workflows and everyone can use those particular in other teams by as well. Connect your data means we have multiple source where you can connect the data and you can pull the informations from there. So before moving to the next slide, guys, anyone have any questions till now?
No, sir.
Okay.
No other.
So guys, just one thing. Sai, you raise your hand. Do you have anything?
You have to lower it. It was the earlier hand. Let me lower it. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
sure. And guys, just one thing I just want to add here. Like Sai is already interesting and giving his or her his input basically, and we are discussing, right? So I want that instructions from your side as well. So what I want, you are here for the learnings, right? And as much as possible you are interacting with me, I can help out to resolve your queries. If you are coming in listener mode and sitting ideal on that screen and you're only hearing but not speaking anything or not asking questions, I think I cannot help out much on that side. So as much as possible I request you, as much as possible, interact to each other, interact to me, ask your questions, whatever your questions might be silly or something else. I'm here to help you on those things, right? So please ask those things. Now let me get back to my screen. Right. So these are the capabilities and ITOM packages which is provided by ServiceNow. First is ITOM visibility. So ITOM visibility, one thing is standard, right? So that is standard licensing we can say, which is provided by ServiceNow. So when we are purchasing ITOM visibility from ServiceNow, what we are getting? We are getting discovery, service mapping, certificate management, firewall audit and reporting, service graph connectors, CMDB, and cloud operation workspace. As I mentioned, I all mentioned CMDB just for the reference only, but CMDB not comes with ITOM visibility, right? So these are the plugins which is activated by ServiceNow for ITOM visibility standard licensing. The next is, yeah, anyone have any question? I can see some noise. Okay, so ITOM predictive
Ajay,
AI.
Ajay,
Yes,
will you be sharing the slides that you've just
yes,
shared with us?
yes. You're
Okay,
not able
all
to,
right. Okay.
are you not able to see?
What I'm saying is after the call, will you share the PPT with us? Is that what I'm asking?
I think no, I am not going to be share that PPT with you. I think you can refer the recordings for those.
Okay, all good. Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
no issues. And the next is ITOM predictive AI ops, and which we say is professional. In that ITOM predictive AI ops, that predictive AI ops is all there, event management is there, health log analytics is there, and site reliability operations are there. So when we are purchasing, it's add on the ITOM visibility. ITOM visibility is there, but ITOM predictive we can also see event management as well. And when we are purchasing ITOM optimization, AIOps enterprise, that is cloud management, cloud provisioning and governance, cloud insights and billing there. So using those, we can implement ITOM, right? So we will going to be discuss in this particular call, in this particular training sessions, mostly on the CMDB and discovery, but as well as I will try to cover the basics of service mapping and event management and the other things as well. In my image, if you are able to see that, those are the things with comes with ITOM visibility, right? So if you see how we can integrate the and what is the use case of it, you can see in my screen. So CMDB is the heart of it, right? We have a couple of devices available, like certificates are there, endpoints are there, serverless, stacks, data centers, clouds, microservices that will be ingested to CMDB via mid server. So mid servers comes in the picture. It's again middleware which help out to be how we can insert the informations in the CMDB, as well as couple of service graph connectors available by ServiceNow, which is related to security, endpoint management, monitoring, APM observabilities, OT and IoT, right? So that is going to be ingested data to CMDB as well, right? So definitely we're going to be learn more things practically, and how what mid server is going to be installed, what is the use case of the mid servers, how we are going to be discover those devices, each and everything will cover in the next sessions. Now next thing is what
Ajay,
is, yeah, yep, yes,
Ajay, we go to that slide.
okay, yep.
Yeah. So Ajay, what is the meaning of site reliability operations? How means what is the
The
means
site
of it?
reliability operations comes in the picture where you have to be, you know, that is particularly, if you have multiple sites in your organization, right, where you have to be run your operations. Again, it's, tracking as a, in layman term, if I say, let me give an example here. Hmm.
Mhm.
Basically, just those particular sites are, are operationally correct, connected to each other or not. First thing. Second thing is, if there any issues are there, so using those, you can see the all informations on it. So again, this is some different module which is provided by, which is provided in ITOM Predictive AI Ops to give that information related to sites. I
Okay.
hope. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions on that one?
No, all good, Ajay. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So let's talk about CMDB basically. What is CMDB? So a configuration management database which is central repository that acts as a data warehouse. It's storing the information about your IT environment, as well as the The purpose built of the database is, a record will be created which include all relevant informations about your IT asset, as like hardware related informations, IP addresses, network, software licenses, documentation, and many more. CI stores information such as manufacturer, vendor, locations, SSID, serial numbers, DNS. CI informations can be modified, added, and deleted, right? So basically, if I say in the layman term, CMDB just going to be store a information related to the CI. It's not going to be store information about the asset. In the CMDB, we are storing information about configuration item things, like what is that who is the manufacturer of that particular CI, who is the what is the RAM and this memory uses of it, right? How many software install on it. So related to the configuration item informations, we are going to be stored in the CMDB as a CI. There are one more part which all couple of knows, asset, where we are going to be track the life cycle of that particular hardware, as well as tracking the monetary things on it, right? So we have to be very understandable about what is CI and what is asset. CI, where we are going to be track the configuration item informations. Asset, where we are going to be track the life cycle of that particular hardware and the monitoring informations. That is the simple difference in the CI and assets. We should know about it, right? How CMDB works. A CMDB provides a common place to store data associated with IT asset and configuration items. The fundamental building blocks of a CMDB is the CI. CI represents an item under configuration management, such as router, server, an application, a virtual machine, a container, logical constructs such as portfolio. So I think I don't need to read that particular information which is mentioned here. Let me give an example here how the CMDB works, right? Again, CMDB is going to be store the CI informations. In that particular information, we are going to be store about that CI configuration item informations, what is the RAM, what is CPU, what is memory, and how those are connected to each other. So if I'm going to be discover, or I'm going to be create a CI for virtual machine, right? So we have the information about the virtual machine, what is the status of it, what is the RAM, CPU, memory, but we should also know that particular virtual machine is connected to which which a host CI basically. If that information is missing, I think that there is no use of the CMDB. That must be required. So we should understand that virtual machine instance is part of that particular host. And then if the host will be there, then we should also know the host is connected, or on that particular host that application are running, that relationship also there, as well as if that host is going to be connected with any network device, any load balancers, or any other informations related to software install data, or any other, right? So that relationship there, so based on that you can visualize your data, keep how that is going to be connected to each other, and it will give you the representations of whole thing, whole CMDB. So right, and and that informations, once that informations are gathered, then you can use that particular informations in your other platforms like ITSM as well, or that can be used by event management, and that can be used by the service mapping, right? So that should be there. If any gap is there related to that data, that we have to be fix it. Example, we decided that particular information should be there, right? And that is not fetchable from the discovery, or that should be required manually update, so that should be updated. Based on that, we can understand how much my CMDB is healthy, how that is going to be connected to each other, and how basically how that is going to be used, or which particular type of module, like it's going to be used by incident. So we can see that relationship as well, that incident, that particular incident raised on that particular CI on that particular time, and all informations are there, so we can track each and everything in the CMDB related to configuration items basically. Right. So in the left side, if you see, in the right side, if you see, I had just put it one information related one screenshot, right? So hardware configuration, server, memory, disk space. That is basically IT. So where we are talking about those things, that is IT assets, right? So basically those are the CIs, but when we're talking about uh, uh, the monetary things, that is the IT asset informations, right? And in the right side, if you see the physicals, asset life cycles, locations, financials, procurements, and vendors, I have just put it. This I just put it based on the reference things. You can understand what is the CI and what is the IT asset basically. So guys, any questions in this slide, or shall I move to the next?
Yes, Ajay.
Yep.
Couple of questions.
Yep, sure.
Eh, so Ajay, in ServiceNow,
Mm-hmm.
when you are trying to, introduce a new component of infrastructure
Mm-hmm.
into ServiceNow, so in
Mm-hmm.
what circumstances do you need to log it as an asset or create it as an asset? In what circumstances do you need to create it as an CI? I know asset. The purpose of creating asset is to track from financial perspective, and the purpose
Mm-hmm.
of creating CI is to create from the logical grouping perspective or logical management of your infrastructure perspective.
Right.
But yeah, so when do you? But I'm not sure in what
Mhm.
scenarios do you create a particular item as an asset in ServiceNow, and when an asset can be converted into OCI, etc. Such
Okay.
scenarios. Hope my question makes sense.
Agreed, right. So, as I mentioned, assets are, we are going to be track the life cycle of particular hardware, right? So, in my, if you go with my opinion, and what is the best practice says, that is something you have to create asset if that is a hardware. That hardware can be a router, can be a switch, can be a hardware server, any type of hardware server, that can be Windows or anything, or that can be a laptop, desktop, as well as consumables, right? That can be a mouse, keyboard. So that type,
Printer, etc. Yeah.
printers, etc., right? So that time we need to be create assets, and associating to those particular things, we can create the CI as well. So in 99% cases, CI will be there except consumables, right? So consumables, we are not creating assets, because sorry, not creating the CIs. Consumables will be part of asset table only, where, because
Correct.
that are not connected to internet, and we cannot fetch the informations, right? If you ask me, I have a keyboard, I need to create a CI. I can say what informations you want to be captured. You want to be capture the manufacturer of the keyboard, because any other informations are not there, and also that is not connected to internet, so you cannot fetch the information, right? So whatever device is connected to internet, we can create a CI based on their attributes which we want to be discovered. But hardware component can be an assets only. So if someone asks you and say, we have a virtual machine running on the VMware, I need to create an asset. So, the best practice is, why you want to be track the virtual machine life cycle, because it's somehow it's running on some of the hardware on the physical server, that we need to be track the asset life cycle, and that monetary things will be connected to that. It's virtual machine monetary things is not connected to that particular, right? So we need to be create, and this asset in that case, and we have to be give guidance to our customer as well, so that is not required to be create an asset.
Okay. So when we want to track the life cycle of a particular device or a particular hardware, that's when we need to create it as an asset. Okay.
Exactly.
Completely agreed. So let's take an example of a laptop. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
laptop, you have a, what do you call, when we say life cycle, right?
Yeah.
There is a warranty period. That's
Yes.
that's what we're calling it as a life cycle. Like, let's say about 5 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we want to track the life cycle. We create it as an asset, but laptop will also be related to a server for sure, because it needs to be a part of some server to have your email service, to have your IP address, which is
Mm-hmm.
again connected to a router, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So in those scenarios, uh, under at what state this asset becomes a CI?
Okay, so laptop, if you're taking example of laptop can be a CI, and that going to be, in a computer table, or can be personal computer
Correct,
table, right? So that
correct.
is there. But let's take an example. Your laptop is, now you have given a laptop to a end user, you have configured all the things and you have handed over, right? So once it's connected to the internet, it's going to be discovered by ServiceNow. ServiceNow have couple of things out of the box available, where once a, if there are mapping also there, right? So if you checked those particular things, like once these type of devices, example servers, hardware servers or physical servers or router or switch or these information, so those particular CI going to be created in the CMDB table, automatically the asset will be created, right? So once you create a CI, automatically CI asset will be, sorry, asset will be created for that particular CI. And
Is it okay? I'm not
yeah, as
aware of
well
this.
as the status
Thank
of the
you. Yeah,
bot
okay.
tables. Status of the bot tables also in this in synchronized way. Examples: status on your CI is operational. The same way here, that status is assigned in asset table, right? Till the time it's not
Mhm.
operational, it might be that asset status is in stock only. Right.
Okay,
So what status
okay,
also sync. So when you are changing anything on the CI status, automatically change here on that asset table as well. Anything if you're changing on asset table is related to asset or status, then might be changed automatically changed on the CI status as well. And there are two type of
okay.
status. One is operational status, one is install status, one is hardware
Mhm,
status. Right. So hardware
mhm,
status connecting to the asset, install status is connecting to the CI basically. So
mhm,
that are in the
mhm.
sync basically. Out of the box, repository available in ServiceNow between bot status. I will definitely showcase you in the next couple of sessions how that asset and CI will be connected to each other and how that is going to be connected.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, okay, so the best practice is when you are when you're trying to create an infrastructure device under a particular class, you create it as an CI, and it will be automatically linked to the asset table as well, ALM table as well. And
Yep,
then, yeah, that's how, in both the tables, a particular device would be available.
exactly.
Are there any scenarios apart
Mhm.
from consumables? Is
Mhm.
there any component or an infrastructure item that you would start creating in the asset table first, and then that automatically gets populated into the CMDB or a CI table or something?
Right. So if I talk about, now we are going to be a little bit ham side, right? So how hardware asset management works basically, right? So
Hmm.
first of all, demands comes like, as a IT manager, I demanded, I need 50 laptops for my team, right? Then they start procurement. So then they are going to reach out to some of the vendor, and they mentioned, I need 50 laptops with this particular configurations.
Hmm.
Procurement start, PO raised. Once PO raised, they are ready to deliver our 50 laptops. So
Correct.
it doesn't mean that 50 laptops we received,
Hmm.
that might be available in asset table. Okay, but the status of those CIs, or sorry, those assets will be in stock only. and that should
Mm.
not be available in your CI, because
Absolutely.
till the
Ab-
time they are not operational or handed over to anyone, that
mm.
is not comes as a configuration item.
Configuration item.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that is a one of the use case. The same way, if we are purchasing some hardware, like physical server or router or switch, which we
Mm.
have purchased it, till the time we are not putting to operational
Mm.
or not connecting to the IP example,
IPs. Mm.
that should not be part of CI. That should be part of asset table only, and with the status of CI in stock or some other
In
things which is
stock or
available.
something. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That,
Once an asset becomes status becomes operational, then it will be automatically moved into the respective CI table.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it, man. Thank you. Yeah.
Sure. Rahul, you have something, right?
Yeah, Jay. Actually, I was having the same question, but little bit tricky. Mainly, what the interviewer is asking, what is the major difference between this one, the configuration item CI, and
Hmm.
the asset management. So last to last, I had given an interview. So mainly, I was saying that if you're talking about the configuration item, so mainly what the it's all about means that mainly the in company the people are using systems more than 10 to 15 PCs, so there will be all kind of this information is we can get all kind of information from that CI, and particular from the asset, this one asset you're talking about, it will be a particular of one component. So does the question make sense to those people?
Sorry, Rahul, but I'm a little bit confused. Can you repeat once again for me?
Okay, sir, I'm asking this. So,
Mhm.
the what the interviewer had asked me. Okay, what is the major difference between the configuration item and the asset? This one, asset management, or maybe or asset table or something. He asked. Okay,
Mhm.
so what I answered that if you're talking about the configuration item, so in a company there are mainly 15 to 20 PC they are using. So they we can find out all the information between the CI. Okay,
Mhm.
and if you're talking about the asset part only, so there
Mhm.
will be only one computer that he can give you the all the information. So is that
No, I think that
correct?
that is not the correct one. Basically, if I give you the
Okay.
major difference between, as I mentioned in the CI and asset, CI is configuration item where we are going to be track the configuration related things. So,
Okay.
always, as I'm giving you, when anyone is asking, in any interview or anyone is asking, try to put some examples. So he will be clear. Might be you are saying some in different way, but when you are giving any examples to them, that will be more clear to them. So if I'm talking about you, like, what is CI? CI is basically where we are going to be track the configuration item informations like what is the CPU, what is the memory, what is the software install on it, what is the status of it, and all, right? So that is mainly as a CI. In other terms, if I say asset is something where we are going to be track the life cycle of that particular hardware, as well as the monetary informations. Like, if I talk about life cycle, when it is purchased, what is the status of it is assigned to someone or not, as well as the monetary, what is the cost of to purchase it, what is the depreciation value, what is the warranty time of that particular asset, and that is the life cycle. So that is the two big major difference between asset and CI. Apart from that, if a small organizations where 20 laptops are there, I'm not sure they are going to be use the service now item first of all, right? They definitely using manually things. They can create, or they can put those repositories in Excel in whatever way you want, they want to be put it, like that can be, they can put single Excel, and they can capture the all informations related to monetary or related to that CI informations as well, right? But if they want to use on service now, definitely path tables will going to be use it, and both tables have the complete informations. Now there is small thing when we are talking about asset. So ALM hardware or ALM asset is the ALM asset tables basically, right? But that gives you the basic informations, as I mentioned. that CMDB comes out of the box with ITSM. The same way, asset also comes with out of the box with ITSM as well. But if you do more things on it, you have to purchase the ham pro plugins or ham pro licenses, where you can track the complete life cycle of it from till raising request to deliverable, to deliver to your address or to your location, and after that moving out to stock, and and after that assigning to someone. So that complete life cycle you can track using ham pro, hardware asset management pro licenses, which is provided by ServiceNow. The small things which related to if you want to capture the monetary informations, who is the owner, who is that that particular CI, particular asset assigned to whom, and what is the value of it, what is the warranty time, that can be tracked in the asset table out of the box. Right, so I hope that is clear to you now. Yeah, sure. So anyone have any else questions before moving to the next slide, guys?
Yes, Ajay, I have some
Yep.
basic question. So, like you mentioned, right, like host. So, what is host means? Like, is it the name of device?
Host. So
Yeah,
host is everything. Host is, in this particular training, who is the host for you?
you.
Right. So host is something, host device, which if I say that is the terminology. So, different devices have different connectivity. So when you are going to be discover a virtual machine, so virtual machine going to be create in the virtual server. But there are couple of principal CMDB classes, like example, Windows Server, Linux Server, IP switch, router. These are the principal CMDB classes, right? On
Yeah.
those classes, if any CI are there, that we called host.
Okay.
Right, so that particular, so we can identify that particular virtual machine connecting to which Windows server. So that particular Windows server is the host for us, means that is the parent basically for that particular virtual machine.
Mhm.
Right,
Okay.
so here if I give an example, I am the host and you are connecting here to attend the trainings. So I you are connecting with me. So if I want to see the complete relationships, I need to go on my machine or myself, and then I can see the five pupils are connecting with me on the training session. So that is the basically example.
Okay. So next is like how we manually like update the device, because we used to give the device, then we run the discovery, then it is getting updated, right? So like, but manually, like how we can do that?
No, so if you want to update the CMDB manually, you can update it, but that is not the best practices, right? First of all, you have to create the Excels, you have to put that attribute, whatever you want to report, you have to load the data, and you have to be create the transform maps and mapping, and you can upload to ServiceNow CMDB. But when you are uploading again, you have to select the college fields based on that CI will going to be, or the record will be inserted in this particular CMDB table. Again, IRE rules comes in the picture. If you want to put IRE rules as well, you have to be enable the IRE rules property in the transform maps, and you can do that, right? So that is there, but that is not the best practices. If you are talking about a server or a device is provisioned by someone, and how it's going to be, what is the procedure to update in the CMDB, that particular points we will definitely discuss in the next sessions. What is the approach will be taken care by the customer, if they have to be mature the CMDB, how that is connecting to each other. We will definitely discuss on those things.
Okay. Yeah. So like and as you guys discussed that operational status, something about, so those things also you are going to discuss, right? Because I am
Definitely. So don't
familiar
think we are going to be theoretically. each and everything with whatever possible to me, I can showcase you related to CMDB and discovery in the ServiceNow instance with the practical things. So where the operational status are stored, how that operational status are in sync between both devices, we will showcase you each and everything on that side.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you as well.
Yeah. Let me. Can I move?
Ajay,
Yeah.
Ajay,
Yes.
one last question, Ajay. Maybe I can ask this in the next session as well, but maybe if you get prepared on this, then it will be a great session
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Sure.
The upcoming one. Yeah. The thing is, let's say we have devices, servers, laptops, networks, everything we have. Uh, in an organization, there is no CMDB tool available, whether it is ServiceNow, whether it is Remedy or whatever. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have any tool as such. We are maintaining in an Excel sheet and we don't have any relationships between them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just there are independent devices which are available in the Excel sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how I would know which laptop is connected to which server or which server is connected to which router and set up a CMDB in a particular platform. How is that possible?
Again, that is very tricky. That's why we are going to be leverage ServiceNow discovery. In if layman term, if I say you example, Rakesh, do you know your grandfather name or grandfather name? Might be you're not aware about it,
Mm-hmm,
right? So
mm-hmm,
the same way, if I someone reach out to you and give you any laptop in Excel format and ask you, Rakesh, can you help me out to provide the relationships between how that
yeah,
laptop is connected to it, right? So
yeah,
that is simple, that is right. So
yeah,
if so basically, if someone is going to be managed in the service now, or sorry, in Excel.
mm-hmm.
First of all, again, I've already said Excel is not suggested or not the best
Correct,
practice.
correct. It is not best practice. Yeah,
Right,
completely agree with you. So
right.
now they realize that it is not best practice. They
Hmm.
want to implement discovery or they want to have a proper CMDB tool in place. So how will they create the relationships? That's what I want to know. So
Right.
even
So,
taking discovery as an example, so
hmm.
can discovery do the job for us when
Yeah.
in such scenario? Can
Right.
discovery
So,
do the job?
right. So,
Oh, okay.
discovery, the best, what I feel, the best feature of the discovery is providing you the correct relationship with the each and every type of devices. Let me give an
Okay.
example here. If let's take an example, I am discovering Rakesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the age of Rakesh? What is the nature of Rakesh? How many, you have your wife, you have sorry, I'm just taking the example. So you have your child, how the child and your wife is connected to them, and how Rakesh is connecting to their father, and that their father connecting to their grandfather. So each and everything can be created by ServiceNow discovery automatically, but the condition is only the access, whatever access we required, that will be provided by the customers on those particular CIs. If
Mm-hmm.
that are there, each complete relationships will be tracked, or complete relationship will be created by ServiceNow discovery based on
Mm-hmm.
the CI types, basically.
Okay. You're going to show such examples, right? In this
Definitely,
training.
definitely.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
as I mentioned, it's going for 25 or 20 to 25 days training. So that is the first day. I understand you are excited and you have lots of things to be, see. But I just want to be start the basics so everyone
Yeah.
should.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So that's
I'll.
why I
Yeah.
started with
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. Okay. No
Yeah.
worries. No worries.
Sure.
And once this discovery discovers these relationships, will
Mhm.
the tables be automatically populated? Will the respective tables be automatically populated or?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I give you an example here. So let's
Okay.
take an example. You are discovering a Windows server.
Correct.
So when you are discovering a Windows server, a record will be created in Windows Server table.
Right.
But apart from that, 20 other records will be updated in 20 different tables. Now you are asking why 20 records created others and they are going to be updated in 20 tables. for the relationships only.
Okay. Got it.
Example, examples. One table is updated for serial numbers with the serial number and the serial number type and the CI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One
Mm-hmm.
table is updated for software installed. So early again, what is the software installed? What is the CI? What is the version of the software? Each and everything, right? One table updated for processes. How many processes running on that particular server? One table is updated for disk, one table is updated for RAM, one table is updated for different, right? So there are 20 other tables. IP address table is updated with IP address, MAC address, with the relationships of the CI, right? So 20 different tables is going to be updated. Now
Okay.
customer is also going to be confused here. We have 2000 CIs, but when I go to the CMDB table I found 40,000. What is why that I'm getting 40,000? And it definitely asks you, I have 2,000 only. I have 2,000 servers or network devices and all, but it's showcasing me 40,000. It's not the correct data. I'm not sure, or might be duplicates are there. Can be
Mm-hmm.
possibility duplicates are there, but we have to give the understanding to the customer. This is due to that we have captured or we have discovered all informations, and this is the principal classes we have to look for your data. If you want to see associated relationships with those particular principal CMDB classes, then you can look to other classes or other tables of the CMDB. So that is already there, that is happening.
Okay. So if you're trying to discover a computer and a
Mhm.
computer has a relationship with server and that server also gets auto populated into the server table. Is that correct?
No.
No.
Now
Okay.
you are doing two things, right? So if I discovering a basic, let me give an example. If I discovering a server or a computer, and the computer is connecting to a server, so it's creating a relationship with the server, but server will not be auto populating in the server table, right?
Okay.
That server should be discovered. So if bot devices are discovered, automatically relationships will be there.
Hmm.
If a single device is discovered and server is not discovered, it doesn't mean it will create a record in the server table,
Okay.
right? So that
Okay.
must be there, yeah. So
Okay. All right. Yeah. All good.
and we have a couple of minutes. I think let's cover up those things. Characteristics of the CMDB, right? So we have seamless dashboards available, access controls available, compliance, creation of the CI and data populations are there, federated data sets, IT service mappings, right? So these are the characteristics of the CMDB which we are going to be used and which help out to give the more visibility on our side. What challenges are facing, right? So that is the base, every organization is facing accuracy. So they are putting a baseline of 2000s, but they are not sure how many devices are available in their infrastructure or in their data centers, how they are going to be connected to each other, right? So accuracy are not there, centralization. So might be organizations are using different tools, like for end user devices they are using SCCM, for iPhones they are using Intune, or for Apple devices they are using JMF. So they don't have centralizations where they can look or they can see all records or all CIs in a single place. So that is the challenges of the CMDB, right? Multi data sources. If they have, as I mentioned, they have different data sources, and everyone have to look on the different particular portal or applications. So they are not able to understand how many devices are available in our CMDB or our CI or in our organizations basically, right? And they have no the visibility. So that's why ServiceNow comes in the picture. ServiceNow gives you liberty to integrate with couple of data connectors out of the box available. You can do custom integrations as well to populate data in a single place where you have the complete visibility of your CIs. Again, process is also not there, right? So no one is not aware how the CI need to be provisioned, and if the CI need to be provisioned, it's going to how it's going to be tracked, or how it's going to be add need to be add on that particular. Let me give an example here. Rakesh comes to me and asks me, Ajay, I need a laptop. As a manager, I given a laptop directly to Rakesh, right? But no one is aware about Rakesh have a laptop till the time I am not giving that informations to that particular tool owner, SCCM or JAM for Intune. Okay, I've given a laptop to Rakesh, just scan that laptop and pull the information in SCCM. First thing. Second thing, no, there is no process. If I give going to be provision a laptop to Rakesh, that agent need to be installed related to SCCM or JAM app, right? So that can be, so there are lots of devices in organizations which they don't know, and someone is using it, right? So that process should be there. Each and everything should be tracked in proper way, so they have complete visibility. Service now gives you, if Rakesh laptop example, if Rakesh laptop connected to the internet and we have the IP ranges of those things, automatically it will discover that whole things and it will showcase you. So couple of times happening with us as well. If customer is providing us a IP range of /24 example, and they know in /24 256 or 254 IPs are there, right? And customer says in 254 IPs we are using 20 IPs only, right, for those 20 devices. But when we are running discovery, we found 40 or 60 IPs are going to be used. Customer is also not aware about it, how that is going to be used by, in my organization I have only 20 IPs informations. Then we are providing through ServiceNow discovery ki those 40 IPs also used by your, might be a system is using two IPs, or might be you are not aware कि there are a couple of other devices also enrolled by that particular IP subnets, and that is also using in your organization. So it's a value add to that customer, that he has the visibility now. Earlier he thinking 20, now he has the visibility of 60 records or 60 devices in their organizations they are using, right? Again, tools, team commitments are also there, right? So these are the basic challenges which is faced by an organizations while we are working or implementing the CMDB. And again, while we are working, we need to be understand what is the end goal of it, what they want to be achieve it using the implementation of the CMDB, right? So those particular things, when we have those visibility, those ideas, based on that I think we can give or we can implement the better CMDB to them, right? Let me move to the next slide. Yeah. So I think let me try to cover this one, or do you want to be cover this particular slide tomorrow, guys?
Let's
Rahul?
cover it now. Let's
Okay,
cover it now.
sure. So what is the CMDB best approach, right? First of all, if we are talking about CMDB best approach, that comes people, process, and technology, right? So the first thing is planning, right? And that is going to in silos, like first planning, implement, managing, and report and auditing, right? So in the planning, you have to be evaluate CMDB maturity, how your CMDB can be mature. Then you have to be identify and prioritize core CMDB classes. Okay. Then we have to be authorized source for the CMDB. Non-discoverable CA attribute, fine tune of CMDB, literally or overall governance process. So in the planning, we need to be understand first of all, what is the core classes which we want to identify and prioritize to update in CMDB. I'm not talking about to through discovery. I'm just talking about as a CMDB process. Okay. Then we need to be understand what is the source to update those records. That can be third party source, that can be discovery, that can be Excel, or that can be anything, right? So what is the source to update those particular CIs? The third point is non-discoverable attribute, and that is the most challenging issues in organizations most of the time. They don't know who are going to be update and how the non-discoverable attribute is going to be update, right? So that need to be designed a process how non-discoverable attribute, example support group, uh, honor, technical resource or location, or company, anything which cannot be updated by discovery, how we are going to be update then fine tunes CMDB. So fine tune CMDB basically, if data is coming from different sources, so what is the source of truth for that particular data or that particular attribute example, right? So definitely we will discuss in the IRE how we can configure, but how it should be. And the last is governance process. How we can govern our CMDB, the things which is available here are correct and good. So those things we are going to be discussed when we are doing to be planning. Now, when once planning phase is complete, everything is decided, then we go to the implementation phase. In implementation phase, as I mentioned, we are going to be populate data from authoritative sources, example SCCM, Discovery, Service Graph Connector, whatever we have chosen to update the CMDB. Define CI exclusion for discovery. So definitely while we are implementing, there are couple of other CIs which is not in our control. I think someone is asked recently in group, there is one CI which is managed by a vendor. We cannot update or we cannot then run discovery, right? So that is comes here. We have to define CI exclusion which is not in our control, or due to some security reasons we cannot discover through discovery, or that is also not part of any service graph connector which we are using. So we have to be define those particular things. Then we have to define data source precedence and reconciliations. So let's take an example. We have two source for one record to update. One is discovery and SCCM. So when we have to be define the data source precedence, which is the higher, means like the discovery will be higher to update the record, but particular attribute to be updated by SCCM, then we have to be define the reconciliation rule. Then over communicate the model lexion. So OCM is something where we are going to be communicate each and everything to that management. That is the model which we are following. And one thing I we missed it in planning. While we are talking about CMDB maturity, then we have to be design the CMDB data model as well. In the data model, we are going to be discuss which attribute we need to be populated through discovery or service graph connector, and which is the mandatory attribute which required to be update from service graph connectors or the discovery, that should be there. As well as then we have to be design the non-discoverable attribute, that must be there, right? So in the implement phase, while we are implementing, then we are going to be take care is that all records are going to be updated or all attribute are going to be updated from service now service discovery or SCCM or service graph connectors is not on so that will gives you the maturity, how our CMDB is mature, right? Then we are moving to the managing. How we are going to be managed now? Then we have to be define the Raki metrics for the CMDB classes and the CIs. We have to be define the policies and procedures, discovered versus manual CIs and attributes, right? Then we have to define the KPIs and CFS, data reconciliations, again data source precedence, right? So managing again is it challenge while we are working on those things. Like now we have updated CMDB and I see 90% looks good to me, all things are updated to me, right? But we have to be maintain that 90% health metrics are there, that are there or not, right? So definitely we are going to be implement Raki metrics, right? Where we have to be assign a CMDB manager role or CMDB analyst role, and which they have the visibility on the whole CMDB, which record needs to be updated, who will going to be update the record. I think we should not give the access to whole organizations to update the CMDB record. That will be controlled by CMDB manager or that CMDB analyst. As well as if any record or anything needs to be update, what is the procedure to it, like we have to be define the policies. Again, in the policies we are going to be define each and everything, like if I need to be update a existing CI for manual attribute, I think some catalog should be there, or they need to be reach out to configuration manager or CMDB analyst to update those records. KPIs we have to be defined, so day by day we can or weekly we can review what is the percentage of the R KPIs for the recommended or those attribute no duplicate CIs. So we can discuss those things again. Reconciliation, if we feel okay, the data attribute is coming and some organization stakeholders are reporting that attribute is coming for that particular class is not correct, might be we have to modify the reconciliation rules, and again the precedence rules to be modified, right? So we have to be managed, that we are going to be doing in the manage things, right? The last point is report and auditing. In the report and auditing, we are going to be discuss, or we are going to be manage overall CMDB health using completeness, correctness, and compliance. We are going to be discuss those things, how we have to be enable sorry we have to be enable that particular metrics, and we have to be enable those schedules jobs, so data will be populated based on the data models which we have discussed, right? So what is the recommended attribute, what is required attribute, what is stillness we have to be configured, duplicate CIs we have to be configured, orphans is are there. So everything is there and we can monitor in the CMDB health, right? Reports on KPIs and CFS, again we have to be publish a reports to management. Okay, that is the RCMDB health status current now. These are the particular CIs which we feel duplicate in these particular classes, or these are the attribute missing for those particular classes, and we are reaching out to stakeholders. So everyone is aware about that, right? Again, non-discoverable attributes accuracy. We are going to be discuss how the attributes are, connected to each other and all other things, right? Audit discoverable CIS, audit integration logs. Audit means it's not like that anyone comes and update the CI, right? So we have to be do the audits on those particular CIs as well, that when what is the serial number earlier or what is the serial number now, if anyone is reporting that type of issues to you, right? So this is the best approach. If we go, this is not for the CMDB as well, this is for the discovery, like we have to first of all planning whatever we have to do, then we have to be implement, then it's how it's going to be managed, and then how it's going to be report, right? So each and everything need to be discussed in that particular way. I hope that is clear to you guys. Anyone have any questions on it?
No, Ajay, I am good.
Okay.
I think we already running late little bit, but I think that that topic is covered now. I think I'm feel good. And if you guys have any questions, you can raise it, and apart after that I think we can close the call for today, and we'll connect tomorrow again the same time. Rakesh, do you have any questions?
Ajay sir,
No,
I
Ajay,
do
I'm
have a
good. I'm good. Thank you.
Sure.
Rahul this side. I do have a question. So, the way you have explained, extremely perfect, sir. And another the thing, today what the task we're gonna provide, that we have to study on this and that material for tomorrow. So
Okay,
we can, yeah.
that is the good thing, Rahul. I'm coming to that point only. Just give me one moment. Let me open the things. So, what I'm going to be start tomorrow. So I think it will be good if you can learn about from your side for data centers, DRs, what type of device available in the data centers and the DIs, right? So let's learn about little bit things, and tomorrow we are going to be discuss the basics of data centers, DRs, how that is used, what type of class available, and then we are going to be proceed further on those things.
Will do.
Okay, I think then we are good, guys. I can wrap up and I can close the call now, and we'll connect tomorrow again.
Sure. Thank you so
If you
much,
don't
Ajay.
have any.